Holy sh**, my newest video is doing great. I wonder what people have to say about it. Imagine not limiting your level
Fun
and
idea,
losing
but
mons.
my god, did you just get a Pokemon and kill them
idea,
immediately
great
after?
ending.
You gotta get better at
My
this
guy,
game,
have you heard
man.
of switching in battle?
90%
Fun
of
video,
video,
but you
you
aren't
aren't
that
that
good at
good.
Nuzlocke. Shake my head.
Like
Your
your
squirtable
awesome
dies
thing.
before the first
Video,
gym.
man, this
I'm
one
not
never
making
seen
questions
such
about
bad
that.
performance. Bro, you suck.
Fine. I'll get good. God damn.
Oh, fuck!
I'm ready. If you saw my last video, then you already know exactly how this challenge goes. But in case you didn't, Yogurt started out his journey in Pallet Town, and after each gym badge, he and his team were whisked away to the next region, appearing at the equivalent gym. Sadly, he failed to become the champion, but luckily, in a nearby timeline, Gogurt had just stepped out of his house, ready to embark on a journey, and just to spice up the challenge, the region order has been changed this time. Professor Elm gives us a choice of starter Pokemon, and we picked the best Johto starter, Cyndaquil. Just kidding. Can't believe you fell for that. Of course the best starter is my boy Totodile. We name him Crunk and head to see Mr. Pokemon, on the way running into a Spinarak. I begin to freak out thinking it's shiny, before looking it up and realizing he's always purple in Gen 2. Honestly, a relief, because I don't think anyone would believe me if I got a shiny in both videos. On our way back to the lab, we run into a strange man who drops his credit card. I take note of the funny little numbers in the back and immediately report them to the police for having red hair. They ask for his name and I tell them RedTube. We finally get access to balls and catch a nice amount of encounters. On Route 29, getting the Who, the Hoot Hoot. Route 46 gives us Packrat, the Rattata, and we find another Spinarak on Route 30, naming it Parker, before running into a Geodude in Dark Cave that Crunk accidentally kills. I just can't catch a break with these Geodude encounters. To make up for it, luckily, we find Suck the Bellsprout on Route 31 and Gengar the Ghastly in Sprout Tower. We train up the squad and head into the first gym. Dispatching of the trainers pretty easily, we get to challenge Falkner. The Who takes down his Pidgey with a couple tackles before he sends in his ace Pidgeotto. We switch into Gengar, who manages to hit a Hypnosis, putting it to sleep. Switching into Crunk, we get one Rage off before the Pidgeotto wakes up and hits us with a Gust, boosting the power of Rage and allowing us to easily knock it out, winning us our first badge of the run. Exiting the gym, we appear in Kanto, Fire Red. We leave Pewter City and wipe out every single trainer on Route 3, catching a Nidoran male named George on the way. I run into a strange man who offers us a Magikarp for an incredibly low price. I realize I'm a little hungry, so I take him up on his offer. We get our fish and name it Weasel before entering Mount Moon, running into everybody's favorite cavemon, Zubat, naming it Morbius. While exploring, I grab a Moonstone and deal with Team Rocket members infesting the area. Some mega nerd interrupts me while I'm minding my own business, screaming at me about fossils or something. He throws a ball of sludge at me and I send out my Crocodile to clean it up. Next, I switch into Gengar, who tries to find out how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Voltorb. Apparently, it's only 11. Outlast is Coughing, who's quickly taken down by Packrat. After the battle, I realize both Crunk and Packrat were poisoned, and I have no antidotes. Luckily, I managed to find a single one at the exit to the cave. Forced to make a tough decision, I give the cure to Crunk, making Packrat the first death of the run. Making it to Route 4, we find Loathing the Spearow before training up the team for Nugget Bridge. George evolving into Nidorino and then Nidoking thanks to the Moonstone we grabbed earlier. We walk up to Nugget Bridge before being stopped by RedTube, who's clearly dyed his hair in order to hide from the cops. He challenges us to a battle and we accept. George deals with his Pidgeotto, Abra, and Rattata before he sends out his demon of a Bulbasaur. You'd think this little frog with an unhealthy growth on his back would be simple to deal with. A walk in the park. And that's where you'd be wrong. This thing put the Who to sleep and then brought him down to red health. Then we send out Gengar, who hits it with a Hypnosis. It wakes up turn 1 while we're switching into George and puts him to sleep. We send back out Gengar, who gets hit with a crit, bringing him down to 3 health. It then puts Parker to sleep, and we finally switch into Suck, who manages to trade Vine Whip until the Bulbasaur finally dies. We easily clean our way through Nugget Bridge, eventually being offered a job. Sadly, child labor was banned in Kanto years ago, so we can't accept it. On Route 24, we find a Weedle named Eek, a bug! And on Route 25, we find a Metapod named Arnold Jr. I enter a house and find a Pokemon. It screams its name at us several times, as if we can understand what it's saying, and then runs into a machine. I click some random buttons and the machine turns on. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Okay, I decided we need to get out of Kanto pretty quickly, so we train up. The Hoenn, Krunk, and Suck all evolving. We walk into the gym, drown some swimmers, and challenge Misty. Suck one-shots her Staryu with a Vine Whip. She sends out Starmie, who hits Suck with a Swift, but he manages to hit back and bring it down to half with another Vine Whip. Sadly, next turn, Suck hits himself in confusion, so I have to switch him out for Krunk. Despite Misty's efforts to heal Starmie up, Krunk still takes it down with a couple bites. She hands us our second badge of the run, and we exit the gym, appearing in Pokemon White 2. I start off my time in Unova by catching one of the best Pokemon ever created, Patrat. I don't even name him. He just shows up to me, known as the Chosen One. Somebody takes one look at my epic new Patrat and immediately wants to hire me to be in a movie. I say why not and meet Bryson. I film a movie with him and everyone loves it. I decide to film another one and end up getting one of the rental Pokemon killed. Quickly fleeing the scene, I pin the blame on some random group of pirates before helping RedTube and the gym leader take them down. I make it to Castilia. That is spelled wrong in my script. I make it to Casterlia and get handed a bicycle from a clown within seconds. Clearly the most sane inhabitant of New York City. I head to the desert and catch Goon the Scraggy, eventually finding RedTube in front of the sewers. He tells me we need to arrest the guys who killed Herdier, so I go along with it, grabbing Snack the Grimer on my way. We eventually find the innocent men and bring them to justice. Afterwards, grabbing Sharpener the Roggenrola from Relic Passage and Oregano the Petlil in Castilia City. We make it to the gym, the Hoenn and Krunk sweeping everyone. Eventually, finding the leader, he leads with Swadaloon and I lead with the Hoenn. To no one's surprise, the flying type quickly dispatches the grass and bug type. He sends out Dwebble and I swap into Krunk for the kill. Leavanny comes out, we switch back into the Hoenn. He manages to put it to sleep with a Hypnosis and we pray it doesn't wake up before he can kill it, as the Hoenn will easily be one-shot. It stays asleep and we wipe it out quickly, gaining our third badge. We exit the gym, feeling our bodies transform and appear in Hoenn, Alpha Sapphire. I head to Route 117 and catch Peekaboo the Marill. We meet May and she threatens to fight me, but luckily decides to spare us. We quickly grab two fire types in rapid succession. Dante the Numel from Route 112 and the from Fiery Path. We meet a strange man who takes us into a secret base. While trying to escape him, we grab Whiskey the Spinda from Route 113 and sadly lose Dante from a Trapinch with Arena Trap. We encounter May and she tells us to help her find a scientist. Afraid of her wanting to fight us, we agree to help her. Grabbing Goofy the Lombre on our way to Meteor Falls. Once in there, we find Conchu the Lunatone and run into this region's Olympic swim team. We manage to take them down, nearly losing Goon in the process. We make our way to the top of the mountain and run into the coach of the swim team, Archie. He screams at us about how he's gonna swim across the entire volcano and then piss on the moon or some shit. So I challenge him to a fight. He leads with Mightyena while we lead with George. He instantly uses Roar, which brings in Krunk. He decides to really spice up the battle and roar again, bringing George right back out. He manages to kill the Mightyena and out comes the Sharpedo. It sadly one-shots George with an Ice Fang. Suck comes out and gets confused by Swagger. He hits himself and proceeds to get taken out by another Ice Fang. Krunk comes out and finishes the job, leaving Archie with just Golbat. Krunk freezes it with an Ice Fang and finishes the battle. Our team is so wounded from the Archie fight, we have to skip our Jagged Pass encounter. We train up with no one evolving and enter the gym. Flannery leads with and I lead with Conchu, who takes it out with a single Rock Slide. She sends out Numel, who survives the first Rock Slide, but is taken out by the second. Finally, out comes Torkoal, and we switch into Krunk to finish the fight, winning us our 4th badge. We head confidently into the next region. Exiting a massive tree, we immediately get a wrong number call. He apologizes for the misunderstanding and tells us he meant to threaten the life of a different child. On Route 14, we find a Gibble. The last dragon we got was an absolute powerhouse that carried us through a large section of the run. So I cannot wait to see what this Gibble... Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Come on. Please. Fuck! On our way through the desert, we have a couple evolutions. Chosen One, Sharpener, and Krunk. Unfortunately, however, we also lose the Hoenn to some power plant workers. We replace him with Morbius, who evolves into a Golbat pretty quickly. The Trapinch massacre continues, and its next victim is Sharpener the Bulldor. We enter the power plant and get scammed by a guy selling fresh water. I ask to see his manager, and he calls security on me. I take them all down and find evil Mr. Clean, but Krunk wipes the floor with them easily. After getting my money back, I head to the nearby city to challenge the 5th gym leader. As we enter the iPhone tower, we are suddenly thrust onto a game show. Luckily, I've been training for this one my entire life.
It's Pikachu! It's Pikachu! It's Pikachu! Pikachu! Pikachu!
Easily winning, we make it to the leader. We lead with Chosen One as he leads with Amoga. Amoga does what Amogas always do and Volt switch the fuck out of there. Magneton comes out and Chosen One puts it to sleep, allowing us to safely switch into Goon, who takes it down with 3 brick breaks. Emolga comes out and they trade a single blow, both going down to nearly red. I switch into Khonshu and of course Emolga volt switches again. Khonshu is brought down to red by the Ace Heliolisk. Unsure of what to do, Khonshu puts the Heliolisk to sleep and I switch into who gets 1 lava plume off before it wakes up. He goes for another and hits it before being killed, luckily burning the Heliolisk in the process. Chosen One comes out and tries to stall it with Hyper Fangs and detects while it burned to death. But the gym leader has too many healing items and Chosen One doesn't live up to the prophecy. Morbius comes out and kills it with 2 acrobatics, taking a massive thunderbolt like a champ. He hits the Emolga with a crit that I doubt even mattered and wins us our 5th badge. Exiting the tower, we feel the sun burn our skin and appear in Alola. Immediately after arriving, Gengar evolves into Haunter and Parker evolves into Ariados. We walk into the grass and get hit with a meteor that Goon tanks easily. We run into a famous local rapper and Morbius sweeps his entire team. He storms off and Goon evolves into a Scrafty. On Route 11, we find Envy the Parasect, who almost instantly dies to a Beware before needing to be saved by Morbius. We get a whole ton of other encounters before the trial as well. Blazed the Torkoal, Mr. Hands the Mudbray, Grower the Wishy-Washy, Obamna the Gumshoes, Kratos the Alolan Sandshrew, Hu the Clamperl, and Glubber the Frillish. We get challenged by the hardest trainer in this entire adventure, Preschooler Hunter, who whips out my #1 favorite Pokemon, Elekid. Yeah, I'm serious. That one's my favorite. After a grueling multi-day long battle, Khonshu eventually wipes Hunter out. We get invited to film a "Don't Visit Haunted Walmart at 3 AM" challenge video. Mimikyu actually showed up, not clickbait gone sexual. We lead with Kratos, who breaks the totem's disguise and it calls in a Bayonet. Kratos is sadly taken out the next turn and we send out Gengar, who immediately gets outsped in 1 shot. Goon comes out and gets hit by a massive play rough. And, oh yeah, Morbius also died. This fight definitely wasn't one of my best. Luckily, Crunk comes in and finishes the totem off and we switch into Khonshu to kill Bayonet. Exiting the Walmart, we get 1 billion views and appear in it's everyone's favorite! Dex cut time! Woohoo! We lost Envy, Obamna, Ikabug, Whiskey, Snack, Loathing, Who, Parker, and Crunk! We lost our starter! Let's go! Kept it alive for 6 regions just to get Dex cutted. Woo! Pretty quickly into the region, Arnold Jr. and Mr. Hands both evolve and we get challenged by some kid screaming about how he's the champion's brother. He leads with Double, who just spams Defense Curl and Screech while Mr. Hands whittles down its health. This cheating bitch-ass kid uses a healing item, so I've got to switch into Khonshu to kill off the Double. Snorlax comes out and Mr. Hands takes care of him pretty quickly. He sends out Big Monkey Man next, and Blazed easily takes it out. Next is Pinurchin, who gets taken down by Arnold Jr. Corviknight is last, and I'm not sure who can take a hit from it on the switch, so I just let Arnold Jr. die. I let Khonshu out next, who uses a mix of Stone Edges and Psychic to knock this bird out of the air and finish the fight. We get a surfing bike and take a quick pit stop over at Lake of Outrage to grab all the evolution stones lying around, using the Water Stone to evolve Goofy into a Ludicolo. While there, we also catch Pythor the Sandaconda. On Route 9, we get jumped by a Grapploct and throw like 40 or 50 balls at it before it gets caught, naming it Goroctopus. After getting a little lost, we eventually find the next gym and are challenged by some super fan of the gym leader's band. We one-shot literally every member of her team and enter the gym. We get to see an amazing show and challenge the leader. We lead with Goroctopus and he spams sand attacks with Scrafty, forcing us to switch out. I change into Pythor, who gets off a glare, paralyzing the opponent. Sand Spit is activated and we switch back into Grapploct for the kill. We try to send out Goofy to deal with the Malamar, but he's taken out pretty quickly. Khonshu comes out and wipes it out with a Moonblast in revenge. Goroctopus comes back out and finishes the battle by wiping out both his Obstagoon and Skuntank, winning us our 7th badge. Exiting the S-tier concert, we appear in Snowy Sinnoh. We've got a long walk to our next badge, so we start off by, hey, wait, you're not supposed to be here. This isn't part of. We wake up in an ancient land, then check our pockets. Only 3 balls. We turn around and see what we've been stuck with. Weasel the Magikarp, Envy the Parasect, and Oregano the Petlil. Quickly running into Big Chili the Snorunt in Whiteout Valley, which evolves into a Glalie pretty soon after, along with Weasel and Oregano. Exploring the area, we get a nice amount of ancient encounters. Manfred the Piloswine, Pocket Change the Bergmite, Is That Shiny the Gligar, Ding Dong the Chingling, and Jerrycan the Bibarel. Manfred evolves into Mamoswine and we're challenged by a shirtless man. Despite not being at the front of my party, Envy gets sent out first because I forgot how battles work in this game and is quickly taken out by Garrick's Glalie. Weasel returns the favor and quickly wipes out both opponents. Adding Pocket Change to the team, he evolves into an Avalugg before we run into a strange Birdkeeper. Nearby, we catch Chester the Machoke and run into a Lickitung as our encounter. I decide it's not even worth catching and run away to find my next encounter. An Elekid! My boy! My baby boy! I catch him and name him 9-Volt. Sadly, for the sake of not losing the challenge, I have to evolve him into Electabuzz, a Pokemon I like a whole lot less. We enter a temple and solve a bunch of statue puzzles. Running into the Birdkeeper from earlier, she challenges us with a Rhyperior, Electivire, and Magmortar, a very threatening team. We lead with 9-Volt and quickly switch into Is That Shiny. He one-shots both Electivire and Magmortar with strong-style Mud Bombs, but is sadly taken out by Rhyperior. Oregano comes out and finishes the battle like a savage. She gets pissed and sicks her bird on us, but 9-Volt teaches a lesson real quick. Now that she has no way of defending herself, we hijack her bird and fly away with it. We accidentally land in a noble Pokemon's territory and challenge Noble Avalugg. We avoid every attack perfectly and send in Oregano to battle him. She does over half its health, but is one-shot in return. We switch into Chester, who finishes off its health, and we take it out by throwing bags of rocks at its face. After the battle, we can feel our bodies being ripped through time, and we appear in Paldea, Scarlet. We have another epic Dex cut moment, this time losing 9-Volt, Jerrycan, and Chester. But we also regain a lot of Mons lost from both the Sword and Arceus Dex cuts, being Obamna, Snack, Parker, Peekaboo, Blazed, Mr. Hands, and Pythor. This time, instead of catching the first thing I see, I use a website to generate my encounters, grabbing Reaper the Lurantis, Smiles Back the Tatsugiri, Society the Scovillain, the Squad the Phalanx, and Burger Rub the Giraffarig. I assemble my final team, bringing Weasel the Gyarados, a random purchase we made back in Kanto. Pocket Change the Hisui and Avalugg, a member we grabbed from the past that's proved his worth as a meat shield. Peekaboo the huge power Meryl, which evolved into a Azumarill, a Mon we grabbed back in Hoenn but never used until now. Mr. Hands, an Alolan horse that helped us through Galar, and our two newest additions, Society and the Squad. We walk into the league, ace the quiz after 3 attempts, and challenge Rika, the first member. We lead with Peekaboo, she leads with Whiscash. Azumarill wipes it out with 2 rough plays and she follows up with Donphan. It gets destroyed by an Aqua Tail, but thanks to Sturdy, it's able to bring Peekaboo down to red. We're forced to switch into Society and he takes down the Donphan. Then Terrastalizes to take out the Dugtrio. Camerupt makes us switch into Breezel, who sets up Dragon Dances on it before one-shotting it with Waterfall. She sends in her ace, Terrastalized Water-Absorbed Clodsire. Weasel nearly gets killed, but one-shots it with an Ice Fang. Poppy walks in next, and we lead with Society, who one-shots the Copperajah with a Flamethrower. She sends out Corviknight, who Society brings down to 1 health with a Flamethrower. It hits back with a Brave Bird, and I say goodbye to Society. But he tanks it with 3 health, and the armored bird dies to recoil damage. I test my luck a little too far and sadly don't one-shot the Bronzong, leading to our first death of the Elite Four. We switch into Mr. Hands, who heavy slams it away. Magnezone comes out and we Terrastalize and one-shot it with an Earthquake. Her ace Tinkaton is set out and hits our horse with a Terra-boosted 160 base power Gigaton Hammer. But the Chad survives on 10 and wipes it out with an Earthquake. The doors open and Larry instantly seduces everyone in the room. He leads with Tropius and we lead with Weasel. We pull a classic Gyarados move and set up 2 Dragon Dances before sweeping Tropius, Staraptor, Altaria, and Oricorio. Sadly, he misses the final Ice Fang and gets taken out by Flamigo. We Terrastalize Pocket Change and he avenges our fallen friend and wins us the 3rd Elite Four battle. Hassel walks through the doors and I feel a shiver go down my spine. This is the first time Gogurt's been here. but the scent of death and failure fills the room. He leads with Noivern, and we lead with Pocket Change. Instantly terrorizing, we one-shot it with Mountain Gale. Haxorus comes out, and we take the chance to recover back up to full health before taking it out with another Mountain Gale. Dragalge nearly takes out our tank, but he survives on 15 health, one-shotting it back. Flapple comes out, and I switch into the squad to one-shot it with a Mega Horn. His Ace Excalibur is next, and I freeze in fear, the squad dying in the process. I send out Peekaboo, who tanks 2 Icicle Crashes and kills the dragon. It fucking killed the dragon. Gogurt did it. He has a shot at the champion. They heal up our team, so we have to stick the dead Mons in the box. Parker, the last surviving first badge Mon, managing to sneak onto the team in the process. We get our turn to walk through the doors and find Gita, the strongest champion. But as I felt the air hit my skin, it felt like something was missing. Like there was members who were still out there, still waiting for their fight with the champion. Members who never lost, but instead had their chance of glory stolen from them. Suddenly, as if a flip had been switched, Gogurt gains the motivation to fight. A win. We lead with Pocket Change while Gita leads with Esperanza. It outspeeds us and does over half with Illumina Crash, but Pocket Change hits back with a massive crunch, one-shotting it. Gyogurt leads with Chester, Gogurt's Hisui and Machoke that never got to travel through time to Paldea. Iris leads with Hydreigon. It quickly does half of Chester's health before he hits her with a huge close combat, knocking it out in one hit. Avalugg is up next and we switch into Peekaboo, who knocks it out with 2 superpowers, but thanks to the defense loss is brought down to yellow health. Druddigon comes out and Gyogurt decides they need a clean switch and send out Greg, a Liepard Yogurt caught in Unova that quickly got outshadowed by a random shiny on the same route. Druddigon hits a Focus Blast, killing Greg in one hit. Content to send out, the exact shiny I just mentioned, and one-shots the Druddigon with a single Psychic. Gita sends out Gogoat and we switch into Parker, who immediately gets hit with a massive Zen Headbutt. Recognizing I made a dumb move and not wanting anyone else to get hit by this Gogoat in the switch, I let Parker die, giving me a clean switch into Pocket Change. Gogoat outspeeds and hits a Horn Leech that Pocket Change tanks, immediately hitting it back with a Mountain Gale, one-shotting it. Iris sends out her Cock Dragon, who sadly outspeeds and puts an end to Yogurt's Shiny's journey. Despite only having recently met content, Gogurt starter Crunk comes in, yearning for revenge. The Haxorus goes for a Dragon Dance, while Crunk goes for an Ice Fang. Not wanting it to get into healing range, for Alligator hits it with a Crunch while it goes for another Dragon Dance. She hits our Alligator with a massive Earthquake, but he survives and smacks back with an Ice Fang, killing it. Gita's King Gambit is the next Mon in our way, gaining strength from all the dead members before it. Not wanting anyone to get hit on the switch, and knowing Pocket Change can't do much in the rest of the fight, I leave him in for the clean switch into Peekaboo. 1 4-time super effective, huge power boosted superpowers, all that's needed to take it out. With Lapras on the field, Gyogurt switches Crunk for Chester, who one-shots it with a close combat. Veluza vaults onto the field, and outspeeds Peekaboo, killing it one shot with Psycho Cut. With only Mr. Hands left, we're forced to switch into a ground type on a water type. I accept my loss and terrestrialize, praying to outspeed with an Earthquake, which he actually does. He one-shots the fucking fish! The massive Aggron comes out and Chester gets outsped, dying to a huge double edge. Crunk gets chosen next and one-shots it back with Water Pulse. Gita sends out her ace, Glimora, which makes complete sense to be the last Mon in her party. It gets terrestrialized and outspeeds our horse, doing next to no damage. We laugh and go for an Earthquake. Iris's final Mon, Archeops, lands on the field. Crunk becomes too confident and gets outsped, dying to a single acrobatics. Yogurt's final Mon, Chris Pratt, an Aerodactyl Yogurt grabbed in Alola comes out. Rockbird v Rockbird. Chris Pratt proves he's the better one, hitting 2 ancient powers, killing it. We'd done it. We'd met so many partners along the way, nearly everyone helping to progress our adventure. We traveled through time. We filmed a massively successful 3 a.m. video. We became a movie star with only one accidental casualty. We avenged the Goopster and Yogurt. Even the Dex Cut Mons got their chance to shine. This journey feels complete. So I pass off the reins to you. I won't be abandoning the challenge altogether. I've got some ideas to spice it up, but at the end of the day, I'm a content enjoyer more than I am a content creator. I'd love to see other people's attempts at this. My Discord's even got a self-promotion channel if you'd like to share your attempt. It will probably be a bit before I do another one of these though. That's not to say I'll stop doing Nuzlocke content. I can take a hint, this is what the algorithm prefers from me and I love making it. If you haven't seen the first video, you can check it out here. And if you do want to see something other than Nuzlocke content from me, I recommend this video where me and a couple friends tried to beat some dumb Rainbow Six challenges I came up with. If you want to know when I release the next video, you can go ahead and steal that subscribe button. Don't smash it, don't press it, just take it. It's yours now, do whatever you want with it, I don't really care.